emails Simplify One and Momentum at startojara.com. That's startojara.com.
Your chance at a jackpot is waiting on every corner. Head to your favorite New York lottery retailer and grab a Powerball ticket today for your chance to win the ever-growing jackpot. Currently over $50 million. Good luck out there, New York. Please play responsibly.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so, too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop it and see them.
Look at that face. You think you're pretty? You're not pretty. You got a great big fucking mouth, giant lips. Your teeth are yellow from smoking cigarettes. You doctored that. That's fucking Photoshop. Can't even see any lines on your face. You're in your 50s. You look like an old bitch.
Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
The winter
Fuck you, Marie. I was nice to you until today. There's no pack here. You can fucking suck it, bitch. Fuck you.
Where they believe a roof is not just protection, it's peace of mind. That's why right now.
And I'm dead serious this time there, fucking fat bitch. Logical wins. Will Durant has permission to come into this chat and use you and your mother. I'll let him fucking troll you in my chat. Will Durant, if you want a wrench, go fucking post a comment. I'll put a wrench on you. She does not have a wrench in my chat. This fucking stupid bitch right here. You're no different than Wiggin. In fact, you use people worse than Wiggin does. You fucking stupid bitch. You want me mad? I'll be mad at you, Marie. I can't fucking stand you now. Or any of your fucking stupid friends. Fuck you, you bitch. Come report me.
WMAL News at 9. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. Yes, it's true. The D.C. area is going to go from sweat to snow in just a few hours' time. The temperature has dropped 29 degrees in the last 3 hours. And as the region gets rain, it'll then get snow.
It will be coming down fairly heavy, and some of the high snowfall rates could be a burst to reduce the visibility as well. A snow burst potentially late morning, early afternoon. By 4 o'clock when the kids get off the bus, it'll all be moving out. 7 News meteorologist Veronica Johnson. Construction on the Trump administration's planned ICE detention center near Hagerstown is now on hold. A judge temporarily.
There's a reason you live with a man and you're not married.
Now, the order stops DHS and ICE from proceeding with construction on a warehouse in Washington County for
fucking idiot.
Days. Attorney General Anthony Brown filed that emergency order to halt construction, citing the federal government did not submit an environmental assessment, which is mandated by federal law. Brown has another pending lawsuit to stop this project.
7 News' Adriana Hopkins. What is it with guns and basketball courts this week? Deputies in Charles County are looking for a gunman who opened fire after an argument at a public court in La Plata. At around 7:30 last night, a man was shot in the leg. He took himself to the hospital. The gunman fled.
Now, this comes just 2 days after a similar incident in Virginia. One person was killed and 4 others hurt at a Dumfries basketball court. Tonight, police are still looking for 19-year-old Deshaun Williams. They say he's a convicted felon who is now charged with murder. Police arrested a second suspect, the 17-year-old, who was also hurt in that shooting.
7 News' Scott Thuman. Maryland Governor Wes Moore has said he is not running for president, but the political chatter class thinks otherwise.
He's got to work on developing relationships with the legislature the way he has relationships with the Sunday show host.
Political analyst John Deedy pointing out national appearances and swing state commencement speeches, but the governor needs to take care of his own state, Deedy tells Fox 45.
He may win the argument of charisma, style, etc., but he'll get compared with Obama. But at the same time, people are still going to want to see the receipts.
And those currently
They include a stalled effort to redistrict, high energy costs, and 19 overridden more vetoes by the Democrat-controlled General Assembly. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Regional leaders are commiserating over data center energy and land use policy from the Council of Governments.
We are really ahead of the curve in terms of what we have done on siting and zoning.
County Executive Jessica Fitzwater says Frederick learned from data center magnate Loudoun County.
And do not give them any you do not need to give them any incentives. So I will just double down on that.
While Supervisor Rodney Lusk says Fairfax County needs the data center tax benefits, but admits
when you talk about putting a data center adjacent to a residential community, it's just outright absolutely not. I know we've got to do a lot more work to try to help people see the value.
Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Prices at the pump are still climbing.
Gas prices all across the nation, they're still pretty high in California. Look, some folks, they're paying $5.36 a gallon. Ouch. Let's go take a look at some of the local numbers here. Virginia, $3.36, DC, $3.64, Maryland at $3.52. Now, the U.S. and 31 other countries agreed to a historic release of oil reserves, but U.S. officials say it will take them 4 months to deliver all their barrels. Meanwhile, with the Strait of Hormuz shut down, some experts liken this to a Band-Aid on a gaping wound.
7 News' John Rogers checking your money. The Dow futures down 426 points. NASDAQ futures down 177. Up next, traffic and weather on WMAL.
That's the sound of a big deal. At Wayfair, that sound happens a lot. Dream sofa for half the price? Big deal. New dining table you've been eyeing for months? Big deal. Finally picking up those last few pieces and finishing that bedroom? Now that's a really big deal. Whatever your home needs, Wayfair has the selection, the savings, and over millions of 5-star reviews to back it up. Shop Wayfair.com today before someone else snags your big deal.
Wayfair, every style, every home. Prime One Day delivery is fast. How fast are we talking? We're talking game night delivered by tomorrow night fast. So we can win fast. Cards fast, puzzles fast, team games at your door on a date fast. Doesn't matter what the game is, we will dominate fast. We're talking game over, you win fast. Fast One Day delivery for the win. It's on Prime.
WMAL traffic and weather. Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Major delays through Columbia. The crash is on southbound 29 before you get to Route 32 right near Seneca Drive. Delays almost back to 175 Little Patuxent Parkway. Southbound George Washington Parkway remains closed. Southbound diverted onto 123. Traffic just at a standstill there back at the CIA and 123 commuters trying to get to the Chain Bridge. Quite the struggle. Virginia 28 northbound north of Walney Road for new crash. Delays off of 66 and a lot of bailout traffic onto both Walney and Braddock Road. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Got some showers to deal with this morning. May see a little bit of wet snow in some spots, especially west. We'll see falling temperatures into the mid-30s, but a bit breezy too with gusty winds. Tonight, clear breezy and colder, 32 outside the Beltway, 20s. Friday, partly sunny, windy at times, chilly, 53. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stitchick on WMAL.
47 at Reagan National, John Matthews. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Barack will never allow you to go back to your lives as usual. Uninvolved, uninformed.
Yes. Barack will never allow us to go back to our lives as usual. Right. They are not missed. Well, I do have I've got a Michelle Obama soundbite today. Big Mike, as she is broadly known. And apparently trouble in paradise over there. You can have all the oceanfront mansions in the world. You can have tens of millions of dollars in the bank for doing nothing for Netflix. And still have a terrible marriage. Terrible, horrible, awful marriage year after year after year. Just awful. And Big Mike said it. She said, it's a podcast. Everything's a podcast, isn't it? You know what? After I'm done with this radio show, you know what happens to it? It's a podcast. Everything's a podcast. And then we got we do have Michelle Obama. We got never allow you to go back to your lives. I didn't see that one coming. Uninvolved, never allow you to go back to your lives as usual. That's something. The fundamental transformation of America. The chronically unhappy. They're not happy unless they're not happy. And remember the old adage your grandmother used to use: misery loves company. And they are misery incarnate. Extraordinary people. They're the left. I've got a story about the left. Driving in today, I had an experience with the left that I want to share with you in just a moment. We do have updates for you on Iran. There is a military conflict going with the Islamic Revolution, the world's #1 terror organization, have been for a half a century, almost 47 years. And
Sick of you.
And the Democrat Party, they're on the sides of the Ayatollah. They have no, and the next Ayatollah. Oh, you see the next Ayatollah, the son of the Ayatollah? He is filthy rich. Do you see this? He is a real estate tycoon in London, England, because London is essentially now one of the Emirates. They should call it the Emirate, and London Stan, as it's known. And the would-be successor to the now deceased Ayatollah, who's the son of the Ayatollah, the deceased Ayatollah. He turns out he's a real estate tycoon in London, England, worth a great deal of money. Not as much as Nancy Pelosi, but a great deal of money, and I want to share that with you. Also yesterday at the United Nations, the Security Council, and then more broadly the United Nations, they adopted a resolution condemning Iran. And it's kind of an amazing story. Iran has been raining death down on their Arab neighbors, their Muslim neighbors, their Arab neighbors. And yesterday, Bahrain, at the lovely Bahrain, Manama Bahrain, been there. And Bahrain, they introduced a thing at the United Nations, as though it means anything at all, but it's symbolic anyway. And they said they wanted to condemn Iran for raining death down upon them, which they have done and they have been doing, and they will likely continue to do. And their other Arab neighbors, the other Muslim neighbors. And it turned out they broke a record. They broke a record. The number of people at the United Nations that voted to condemn Iran yesterday. It broke a record, not just condemning Iran, but for agreement at the United Nations. It's a unique moment, an interesting moment. Yes, it is. And in New York, I don't know if you saw this, but the news media lost it. I didn't even see it, and I see everything. But the New York City, they had a vigil for the Ayatollah, for the killed Ayatollah. And you'll never guess what happened. It turned into violence because they're terrorists. That's the thing about these guys, like the bomb-throwing lunatics in New York City and all that. But we've got that. And the news media, the Democrats, are Americans still welcome in Europe? Are they? Because, Trump, and it could be bad. But really the problem is the left, and it's the left in America and every place else. In Spain, merry old España, they have Caracas and those big fat guitars and things like that. Spain removes ambassador from Israel in protest of the Iran war. Isn't that amazing? And that's they pulled their, but they still have their ambassador in Iran, in Tehran, where they slaughtered tens of thousands of their own people. Spain, because they have a lefty prime minister there, pulling their prime minister because he hates the Jews. He's like a fascist. He might be the new Francisco Franco, this person. And so they pulled their ambassador from Israel, but not from Iran, where they just slaughtered tens of thousands of their own people at gunpoint because they're yearning to be free. Isn't that amazing? And in Spain, they said, well, looks like, we're not friends with Israel anymore. So Israel bombed them. Just kidding. That's just a little joke. They haven't really yet. Just great. Yeah, and I went and I looked up the Spanish ambassador, the ambassador from Spain to Tehran, and he's having a nice time. They hate the Jews or something like that. And there was a funny story yesterday by ABC News, kind of funny. FBI warns Iran aspired to attack California with drones in retaliation for war. And then that amazing. And then CBS decided they would pursue the story, and you'll never guess what happened. Remarkable remarkable things. I'll share that with you coming up. We got gasoline prices. And the Democrats, that means the news media, they're up in arms about gasoline prices because gasoline prices went up a bit. They started quite low. The news media always leaves that out. And then I did something crazy. Let's compare gasoline prices at their new higher rate per gallon to Joe Biden's normal presidency and Barack Obama's just everyday Barack Obama. You know, they all want us to stop driving cars. They want gasoline to be excessively expensive, like in California, so that we'll stop driving, and then they will slow the rise of the oceans because they have Zeus-like powers. They're godlike, and the old that's extraordinary stuff. These people, just extraordinary. And why do they hate the Jews so much? And then they go around and call everybody Nazis. What's up with that? And Cuba, you know, it's a communist country about 90 miles off the coast of Florida. And there are commies there, and everybody tries to escape the voluntary departure. The voluntary departure of one of their captives, one of their citizens, is termed an escape. An escape. But I've got an update for you. What's going on there? With no food, no electricity, no medical care, Cubans are asking for God's help and to bring us Donald Trump. And honestly, Cuba may be next on Donald Trump's list of things to do. He's got a to-do list on the Resolute desk in the Oval Office written on a Post-it. And one of them might be free Cuba. You got free Iran, 92 million people out of free Cuba. Isn't that amazing? And the Democrats and the left, you know, the Democrats and the left. And Canada is a very lefty country because it's full of people that call themselves liberals. And there's an extraordinary story out of Canada. They have, and I've talked about it once or twice here, but only in passing. Canada has assisted suicide. So if you are, let's say you're terminally ill and it's not fun at all, you can go into them and they'll put you to sleep, like in Soylent Green, you know, and then they turn you into a food product of chips, and that feeds the population. But Canada, listen to this, Canada set to pass 100,000 assisted suicide deaths. All right? They've been doing the assisted suicide thing. The 10th anniversary is coming up. They're going to celebrate the anniversary of large-scale government-assisted suicide. And here's the thing. They're about to reach the threshold. More people killed by the government there, put to sleep, than they lost in World War II, than Canada lost in World War II. That's part of it. And this is, and I found this one. I got this at Newsmax, a friend at Newsmax yesterday. Canada and their assisted suicide. They're breaking records with their assisted suicide program. And I came home after Newsmax. I told my best girl about it in the kitchen. And she said, oh, yeah, I saw the other day that Canada is now euthanizing more people than they are dogs. That's right. They put dogs down when dogs are bad or dogs are sick or whatever. But they're putting down, and that's what they call putting down people. They're euthanizing. They don't really call it putting down. They're euthanizing more people in Canada than dogs. So my dog got so sad we had to bring in the dog and have put down. Oh, my poor wife. Had to bring in my wife and have her put down. And in Canada, they're putting down more people than they are dogs, and they're about to pass the number of people that they lost in World War II fighting the Nazis, and the Japanese too. You know, it was a global war. It was a world war. It was World War II. Isn't that amazing? Yes, sir. Just great stuff. And Dr. Jill Biden, who's not a doctor at all, but she's on The View. A heck of a doctor. She ought to be the Surgeon General because they're just dumber than rocks at The View. And they make millions of dollars for a year for being as dumb as they are. It's good to be a Democrat, isn't it? It's the end of civilization. But and again, it's the left. Everywhere you look, it's the left. The euthanizing more people than dogs, it's the left. In Cuba, no food, no electricity, no medical care. And they're asking for Trump to come in. That's because of the left. It's all because of the left. The bomb throwing, mentally ill, Let's make some Molotov cocktails, go throw them into the Jewish governor's mansion in Pennsylvania. That's the left. If conservatives had been doing just that much over the last few years, I think conservatives might have a reputation in the news media, and it would be a negative reputation. But for Democrats, nothing. It just washes right off at the end of every day. Extraordinary stuff. They shot Donald Trump once, tried to shoot him a second time, shot Steve Scalise, tried to wipe out a whole Republican baseball team with a Chinese combat assault rifle in a suicide attack. They're self-immolating all over the place. We've got a series of anti-Semitic attacks in San Francisco, in New York, in San Jose. Democrats violently attacking Jewish people because they're very severely mentally ill. Just extraordinary stuff. Now, with that said, I want to just to warm you up on a few of the stories we have today. And the English, they're doing away with all of their traditions because they're becoming an Islamist country in England. They're doing away basically with the House of Lords, at least with the Lords in the House of Lords. So you can't really call it the House of Lords anymore. But that's an extraordinary thing. We've got that. But I've got to share with you something that I have. I'm going to go to a photograph that I shot with my telephone. My phone has a camera in it. Have you seen this? Yeah, it's extraordinary. Because of the patriarchy. Extraordinary. But I was driving in today, and there was an automobile in front of me. It's raining here, kind of a rainy day. I was driving in, and there's a car in front of me, and there's traffic, of course. And the car is a Honda Civic, and it has a Washington, D.C. license plate, and it's a few years old. And there's a bumper sticker on it, and the bumper sticker says, it's a pink bumper sticker, and it says, "Don't honk!" ! I'm already crying. Don't honk! I'm already crying is what it says. And I laughed just a little bit, and I said, oh, this has got to be a white liberal woman. I know that there's about a 100% chance this is a white liberal woman. And I thought, there's traffic in all the lanes, and I couldn't get there right away. And I thought, of course, it could be any Democrat man, too, because they're all transgender. I don't know if you know this, but they're all engaging in gender self-mutilation and things like that. But don't honk, I'm already crying. And finally, a couple of blocks, and this person got into the left turn lane in front of me. So I was able, and the light was turning red. So I was able to pull up alongside this Honda Civic with the "Don't honk, I'm already crying" bumper sticker. And I pulled up alongside, and you'll never guess, there was a white liberal woman in the driver's seat. There was a white liberal woman, and I had to stop because there was a red light, and I was parked right next to this woman, a white liberal woman, with "Don't honk, I'm already crying." And guess what? She was crying. She was actually crying. I pulled up alongside of her on the right side of her vehicle. She's turning left in the left turn lane, and she had a white hanky, and she was literally dabbing both eyes, going back and forth from one eye to the other. She was sitting in the driver's seat, crying, and dabbing the tears off her face. "Don't honk, I'm already crying." And I laughed. Of course I laughed. What else would I do? And she didn't look over to catch me laughing, which was a little bit disappointing, but that was okay because she seemed very sad. She seemed very sad, given that she was crying, openly sobbing in her car while driving, trying to turn left. I suspect maybe she only turns left. She might have to turn left all she never turns right. She only turns left. "Don't honk, I'm already crying." And the satisfaction that she granted me this morning to pull alongside of her and find that she was actively crying while driving in the rain, which makes it a little better. Just extraordinary. She was a liberal. We're at 888-630-9625.
There's only one Chris Platt. The Chris Platt Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Serious accident closes the southbound George Washington Parkway. Traffic being diverted onto 123. Traffic at a standstill back near the CIA. 123 barely moving, trying to get to the Chain Bridge. Claire Barton Parkway's picking up the bailout traffic as well, so try to avoid that area if you can. Heavy delays getting into the district. 395 north back near the Pentagon. Columbia, Maryland, at a crawl. Southbound 29, the crashes before Route 32 at Seneca Drive. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Rain turns to snow this afternoon before ending sunshine before dark. Temperatures falling into the 30s, mainly clear tonight, low freezing.
Prime one-day deliveries fast. How fast we talking? We're talking yoga mats and fitness trackers delivered so fast you can kick off your routine tomorrow fast. We're talking weights at your door without really waiting fast. Water bottles and hydration backpacks fast and fast. Resistance bands fast and feel the burn fast. No jump ropes, just a hop, skip, and a jump away, aka fast. Whew. That was actually a good workout fast. Fast one-day delivery for all things fitness. It's on Prime.
Finally, car shopping made for you. Meet Car Gurus Discover, a new search feature where you can look for vehicles using your own words. Whether you want great gas mileage or extra trunk space, simply type it in, and Car Gurus Discover will give you real shoppable listings that match. It's no wonder Car Gurus is the #1 visited car shopping site according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com.
Every semester, thousands of ambitious students feel locked out of traditional healthcare education. So who's going to open that door? Covista. And who's turning that ambition into the next wave of practice-ready nurses, doctors, and caregivers? Covista. Every year, Covista graduates 24,000 healthcare professionals from our 5 accredited universities, making us America's largest healthcare educator. Open the door to more at Covista.com. Covista, the talent to transform healthcare.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop it and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
It's time to wake up to a chance to win. The Powerball jackpot is rising. So get a stretch in, pour yourself a cup of joe, and head to your favorite New York lottery retailer to seize the day. It's your chance to win the $60 million jackpot. Good morning and good luck, New York. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call the Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
There's no place like home with AmeriQ Credit Union. For more than 75 years, AmeriQ has helped your friends and neighbors step into the homes of their dreams. Let us help you find yours. Apply today at ameriq.org/home. Equal housing lender.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
It's knowing you've always done your part, showing up, preparing them, and making sure they're ready for a new chapter. So when it's time for them to head out on their own, they can advance to life's good parts, confident, capable, and ready for the road ahead. With the right parts from Advance Auto Parts close by, you help them stay prepared, keep moving forward, and take on everything that comes next with confidence. Visit your local Advance Auto Parts today.
Know the news the minute you wake up. O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. 5 to 9 a.m. on WMAL.
People keep asking me, did you honk at her and mock her, make faces at her? I really didn't. I laughed, and I thought, oh, she seems so sad. She must be a liberal. She has a sticker on her back window. It says Syracuse University. Syracuse University. Not to give away too much. Michael is going to post the photo. We'll try to lose her license plate because it might be impolite. All right, let's go to the telephones, Michael. We are at 888-630-9625. Let's go to Rob, calling from Montgomery County, Maryland. Rob, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Chris, it's so good to talk to you. I've been a bit under the weather since this past Saturday, but I think I'll survive in spite of all the people that live here that go under the L category, in the People's Republic of
Jamaica. Yeah, they're unwell.
You stole something from my idea this morning when you mentioned Soylent Green.
Yeah, Soylent Green, yeah. Yeah, in fact, yesterday I was sharing these stories with Michael Piercy, and I went to the internet and I pulled a video clip of Charlton Heston.
It's people. Soylent Green is made out of people.
Soylent Green is made out of people, and Charlton Heston. He went to my high school. They're putting people, and Donald Rumsfeld and Ann Margaret and a lot of people, but that's not important now. Yeah, but yeah,
means something.
This lady, these people, they're. I want to feel sorry for them, but they become so ridiculous over the years, haven't they, Rob?
Yeah, it's really beyond pathetic and sickening at this point. I was thinking these people, the left, the Democrat Party, I think they truly want to make being an American illegal.
Well, that's next. I think that's coming. Give them if they take control of the House and the Senate, that may be. You're going to want to amend the Constitution. Thanks, Rob.
Soylent Green is people. This is the Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. We still have a lot of rush hour delays, but major problem continues on the George Washington Parkway, down tree, and a serious crash. Completely shut down each direction. The GW Parkway just south of 123, southbound traffic detoured onto 123. So avoid that area if you can. Heading through Columbia, it turned out to be a vehicle fire southbound on 29 before Route 32 at Seneca Drive. 2 lanes now slowly get you by. Traffic just inching along south of Little Patuxent Parkway. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Rain turns to snow this afternoon before ending, sunshine before dark. Temperatures falling into the 30s, mainly clear tonight, low freezing.
Chris Plant here. Tired of dating online and want to meet real people face to face? Let the professional matchmakers at It's Just Lunch help. After a confidential interview, your personal matchmaker hand selects quality matches for you. They pre-screen every date, and they'll book your reservations at the best spots in town. All you have to do is show up and be yourself. Let It's Just Lunch help you turn new beginnings into lasting connections. Call 202-466-4333 or visit itsjustlunchdc.com.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop in and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
It's time to wake up to a chance to win. The Mega Millions jackpot is rising, so get a stretch in, pour yourself a cup of joe, and head to your favorite New York lottery retailer to seize the day. It's your chance to win the $45 million jackpot. Good morning and good luck, New York. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call the Hope Line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Things people don't believe in. Little green aliens. Bigfoot. And that Spectrum TV combines all your favorite streaming apps with live TV at no extra cost. But that one is actually true. You get over $100 worth of streaming apps like HBO Max, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Peacock, AMC Plus, and more, included with live TV at no extra cost. It's only the way TV should be. It's only everything. Learn more at SpectrumTV.com.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead? Guilty.
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Every Nissan Frontier is battle-tested. Its frame is twisted. Its door slammed 13,920 times. And its bed drop-tested over and over. We do all that to the V6-powered Frontier.
Fucking
so you don't have to
cocksucker.
hold back. Nissan, ranking #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop in and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
WMAL, making sense of the roads, because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
That's right, Charlton Heston. So the greatest people. Who was it? Edward G. Robinson went and turned himself in so he could be used as a food source for the masses. And they euthanized him. They euthanized him in Soylent Green. And they took his dead body and made it into food chips, which is Soylent Green. Democrats are pretty close to that now. Pretty close to that. Boom, boom. Famous book, and then it became a famous movie, and that was a lot of fun. And by the way, Soylent Green, the book Soylent Green, and then the movie Soylent Green, it was set in the future, in a terrible dystopian future. And the dystopian future about which the author wrote and the filmmakers made film was 2022.
New York City in the year 2022. Nothing runs anymore. Nothing works.
Soylent Green, set in 2022. And somehow I talked about it when 2022 rolled around. But that should have been a kind of somebody who should have looked at that, because now Canada is pretty much there. Here is the New York Post, and this story is actually from almost a week ago, from March 7th of 2026, the New York Post. Canada is set to surpass 100,000 assisted suicides, more than the country's World War II death toll. This is what the left does. They snuff out life by the millions, human life. You know, they have more than 1 million abortions in the United States every year. And you know what they call it? Choice. Choice. You know, that's not amazing. The Nazis, they called that whole death camp thing choice. It wasn't the choice of the people in the death camps, but it was the choice of the people with the armbands. And here is the New York Post story from about a week ago. Canada is set to surpass a grim milestone in its medically assisted suicide program, with a total of 100,000 citizens projected to be euthanized by the government before its 10th anniversary on June 17th.
The fuck out of my face, you fucking dumb
Great
fucker.
White North MAID, M-A-I-D, the Medical Assistance in Dying program. They call it the MAID program. Oh, honey, the maid's coming over. Oh, that's nice. It's a little dusty in here. And it turns they come in and they put you to sleep like a dog. So it's literally, I'm not making that up. MAID, Medical Assistance in Dying program, the MAID program. We'll soon cross, somebody comes over the white shirt and a black apron and they got a rolling cart, and before you know it, mom's dead. We'll soon cross the sickly 6-figure threshold, according to the National Post. That's a Canadian publication. Ottawa's most recent data shows 15,767 Canadians were euthanized by the state in 2024. 5.1% of all deaths in the nation that year. Now, hang on a second. 5.1% of deaths in the nation. 5%. 1 out of 20 deaths. And this is not just suicide. This is government suicide. They don't, it's, is it suicide when the government does it? They're putting you to death. And here's the thing. Canada doesn't have the death penalty if you're a murderer. You can be a mass murderer, a genocidal lunatic that kills a school full of children, and they have no death penalty. But if you're a little sad, and listen, you don't have to be critically ill. If you're depressed, they'll put you to sleep. I'm not making this up. This is true. 5.1% of all deaths in the nation. Isn't that remarkable? About 45 Canucks per day are being euthanized, according to the report in the Canadian national thing. That is just great. Now, in 2021, a total of 9,842 Canadian people were euthanized. Euthanized is the word. Only 2,000 shelter dogs in Canada were put down that year, according to the vet desk. You know, veterinarians, they take care. So, wait a minute. In 2021, they put down 2,000 shelter dogs. That's, stray dogs that are wandering the streets of Quebec City or Vancouver. And they put the dogs down, 2,000 shelter dogs. They try to give them away. But if you show up and say, put me down, they don't even try to find, like a shelter home for you. They just say, okay, lay on the table over here. And is it okay if we make Soylent Green out of you? As of 2024, total MAID deaths reached 76,475 citizens, nearly twice the 42,042 Canadians who died in the battle during World War II, during all of World War II, according to the Canadian War Museum. They lost 42,042 people in World War II. They've now euthanized 76,475 citizens, taxpayers. New York recently adopted its own version of the controversial program, the Medical Aid in Dying Act, which religious leaders have called societal failing. It's a genocide is what it is. But the New Yorkers, the liberal, they elect the Muslim, and then they start lining people up to kill them. And we're going to have rail spurs and death camps before long. The proliferation of assisted suicide in Canada in Canada is a human tragedy and societal failing, one that New York is on track to duplicate, said Dennis Poust of the New York State Catholic Conference, and might be Poust, it's probably Poust, P-O-U-S-T, New York State Catholic Conference, Muslim Council hasn't said anything about it, and a spokesman of the New York Archbishop Ronald Hicks on public policy matters. Isn't that extraordinary? So they're putting down more people than they're putting down dogs. Canada's program is indeed a warning, one we pointed to again and again as a harbinger of New York's future when appealing to lawmakers and the governor. He said, this is liberalism, all right, this is leftism, and there's nothing liberal about it. What starts out as a choice, hey, wait, it's like abortion again, you're aborting yourself after the fact, quickly becomes an expectation for patients, especially the poor and underinsured and people with disabilities. Tragically, that is what we can expect here. That's the Catholics right there. The controversial program, it's not controversial in Canada or in New York City, however, or in the American news media, because 60 Minutes is not working on a story on this rise of fascism, of Nazism, snuffing out human lives in a government program. The controversial program has come under review and renewed scrutiny after reports of same-day approval for MAID applications and claims that patients were pressured to needlessly end their lives while suffering from depression. And you show up and you say, I'm depressed, and they put you to sleep that day. This is what public health care does. This is what the left sees as the future of civilization, right? The family of 26-year-old Kano Vafeyan, it's V-A-F-A-E-I-A-N, Vafeyan, all right? Kano Vafeyan are calling for reforms after their son, who, listen, had type 1 diabetes, suffered from seasonal depression. It's Canada. All right? You know, maybe you should try, maybe Chris Van Hollen will fly you to El Salvador or someplace. He can join MS-13. So he's 26 years old. He's got diabetes. He has seasonal depression, you know, like, what do they call that? SAD, seasonal affected disorder, when you have short days of sunshine. And I'm feeling a little mopey. Hey, well, we can put you to sleep. And he had vision problems. He had eyesight problems. Maybe you should send him down to My Eye Doctor. That's a chain store here in Washington. He was approved for the suicidal procedure and was euthanized on December 30th of 2025. That's just a couple of months ago in British Columbia. I think British Columbia is pretty nice. I'd say, you know, it's true the sun doesn't always come up. We never thought there would be a chance that any doctor would approve a 22 or 23-year-old at that time for MAID because of diabetes or blindness. Mother Margaret Marcilla of Ontario told Fox News Digital. New York has become the 14th state to approve a version of doctor-assisted suicide, with the bill passing by a narrow margin in the state legislature last June. Isn't that great? And then here at the end of the New York Post story, they say, if you're suffering from suicidal thoughts or experiencing depression or a mental health crisis, don't go to New York. It doesn't say don't go, but it gives you a phone number to call because you might be depressed. Isn't that amazing? Yes, it is. That's the New York Post. And then the People's Voice has the story, Canadian citizens euthanized at 2 times the rate of dogs in last 12 months. Just great stuff. From March 2nd of 2026. Canada's so-called medical assistance in dying, the MAID program, has exploded into a full-blown death machine, accounting for a jaw-dropping 5.1% of all deaths in the country. You know, and that includes cancer and old age and car crashes and actual normal suicides, you know, normal suicides. But here's the kicker that exposes the sinister underbelly. Human beings in Canada are now being euthanized at twice the rate of dogs. Let that sink in, Canada. Man's best friend gets more mercy than your aging grandparents or your 24-year-old son or brother or whatever that is. This isn't compassion. It's a calculated cull straight out of the global elite's playbook for population reduction in Western nations. I honestly, this is crazy. These people, and they call it liberalism. Make no mistake, they call it liberalism. Yes, sir. So that's what liberalism is up to today. Extraordinary things. All right, let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's see. Let's go to Steve calling from Jerusalem. Stephen, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, Steve. Yeah, man, welcome. How you doing?
Well, it's wonderful to be a part of history and see history in the making, though I've been waiting for a long time for this. Let's see, where do I start? Let's start with the Israeli public.
Well, you're living in a war zone. You're living in a war zone, and you say it's wonderful to be a part of history and to see this happening. And I assume you mean what will presumably, hopefully, be the fall of the Islamic Revolution in Iran.
Yeah. It looks that way. That should be the direction we're headed if we keep it up. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Everybody's united here. Everybody's, we're taking it. What that means is that just before I called or started listening to the show about an hour ago, I was at a mall at Beit Shemesh, which is pretty hot. So we were leaving the mall. What happens is when Iran fires or Hezbollah fires into Israel, we get a warning on your phone. Wherever you are, your phone will get a warning, and it will tell you that be near a shelter. You may get an alert. Sometimes we don't get an alert, meaning that they shot it out of the sky. We don't have to worry about the debris falling down. And sometimes we do get an alert where we have to go into the shelter and stay there for 10 minutes until the event is ended. That's primarily what's going on here. Everybody gets used to it. Some people go in, some people don't. Kids are out. I was actually surprised when I went to a mall in Jerusalem and they had mommy and me hour, and there were about 50 mothers and their kids in their strollers, in the inner mall. They have areas that they have these little kids events, and it's just a regular day. There's no school, but it's a regular day. If they get an alert, they'll go into the mall shelter, and we have a system. The kids are used to it. Everybody's used to it. It's a little scary. There was a projectile that fell out of the sky near a residential area where, without saying what, where, who, was close to home, in a residential area, in a residential building, and there is no military installations near there. So that tells you what's going on with the Iranians and with Hezbollah. More Hezbollah is entering this because we see that here, that is a desperate move now. I mean, you know what's going to happen with Hezbollah. They're actually, I don't know if you're getting the news, but I started to come out in the Israeli press, and I knew this by the movement up in the north, because we have people. I know people that are in there that are, my son-in-law did not get called up at the present time, but they're pushing them north. And just a few hours ago is, listen, if you're going to keep doing this, we're going to go in there and occupy land just like we did and make a buffer zone up in Lebanon. I know I'm all over the place, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah, no, I get that.
The Houthis are quiet. I think that has a lot to do with two things. The press here analyzed that and says, well, that's their escape route. They got nowhere else to go. If they fall, they got to go together. No one else is going to take that. The other thing is the recognition of Somaliland. In that area, Israel recognized Somaliland. So I don't know. I'm sure that agreement came with it to put some military.
Wow.
I don't have confirmation. I can only say that's what I think.
Yeah. Great stuff, Steve. I'm very glad that you called in, and everybody says stay safe. I know, and going to shelters and all this stuff, but the fight is on, right? And Netanyahu is no weak link, and President Trump is no weak link, and it's about time that the Islamic Revolution in Tehran was confronted, not just for you and for Israel and for us in the United States, the nuclear weapons and the ballistic missiles, but for the 92 million people of Iran that are having their teeth kicked out by this corrupt regime. It's about time that the world stopped acting like this was normal and that we should just accept it, because this is not normal. And of course, the left accepts it as normal, and therefore, and the Democrats are against doing anything about it. The Democrats are on the side of the jihadis, which might seem ironic, but again, they're putting people to sleep in Canada and in New York. Feeling sad? Come on down, we'll put you to sleep. Well, we've got a dog if you'd like. Thanks, Steve. 888-630-9625.
You would be indirectly responsible for the resulting euthanasia. Oh boy, they got enough kids over there as it is.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Serious crash and a tree down shuts down the George Washington Parkway each direction. Southbound closed and diverted at 123. Northbound diversion is at Spout Run Parkway. Heavy rain is keeping the rush hour lingering. Southbound 270 heading into Gaithersburg. Outer loop of the Beltway slows into Silver Spring. Columbia, there's a vehicle fire southbound on 29 before 32 at Seneca Drive. 2 lanes now get you by. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Rain turns to snow this afternoon before ending sunshine before dark. Temperatures falling into the 30s, mainly clear tonight, low freezing.
Therapy is too expensive. Used to be the end of the conversation. But what if it didn't have to be? With Grow Therapy, care is designed to be affordable, insurance-friendly, and easy to understand. Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits you, not the other way around. Grow connects you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability to get started in as little as 2 days. And if something comes up, you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 100 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0, depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/try now today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/try now. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Every semester, thousands of ambitious students feel locked out of traditional healthcare education. So who's going to open that door? Covista. And who's turning that ambition into the next wave of practice-ready nurses, doctors, and caregivers? Covista. Every year, Covista graduates 24,000 healthcare professionals from our 5 accredited universities, making us America's largest healthcare educator. Open the door to more at Covista.com. Covista, the talent to transform healthcare.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop it and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
It's time to wake up to a chance to win. The Mega Millions jackpot is rising, so get a stretch in, pour yourself a cup of joe, and head to your favorite New York lottery retailer to seize the day. It's your chance to win the $35 million jackpot. Good morning and good luck, New York. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call the Hope Line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home, and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
WMAL, making sense of social media because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Everybody knows that liberals hate cops and they want to defund the police and they want to eliminate ICE and they've defunded the Department of Homeland Security, and if you're going through an airport, there might be 4-hour lines because of Democrats. And in Pennsylvania, a couple of Muslim guys rode their bikes into New York and threw some homemade improvised explosive devices, nail bombs at people because the guys that threw the nail bombs at the people that
I just noticed your post.
The villains of the story, according to the media.
I'm not even looking at my laptop.
Chester County.
I am now, though.
Pennsylvania. Chester County.
Yeah, good morning.
Shot and killed officer.
Fucking hilarious.
Controversial social media presence. And when they say controversial social media presence,
I'm listening to the news, Charlie, as you can see.
God, I hate cops. I hate cops.
And I'm fucking spamming Vegas. Just what they want.
All cops are bastards. No borders, no cops, no cages. See, and Matt sent us this amazing story. The only good ice is water ice. No war, but class war. So he's a lefty lunatic. Nobody wants to play with me, he wrote later, accompanied images of the communist hammer and sickle. And then, of course, he gunned down a police officer because Democrats teach hatred and violence and suicidal everything. This is the Democrat Party. And this is perfectly normal in Democrat circles. They send this stuff back and forth to each other.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. It does not sound like Iran's going to roll over and surrender anytime soon. An Iranian state television anchor reading a statement from the new supreme leader in his first public comment since taking over from his late father, who was killed by a bombing last month. The new Ayatollah said Iran's attacks on Gulf Arab neighbors will continue and that Iran should use its leverage of destroying the Strait of Hormuz to shipping to its advantage. President Trump has promised to finish the job in Iran, even though he earlier claimed Iran is virtually destroyed. The United States continues to push forward in the Middle East. There were more attacks overnight.
We have some new video from Oman showing an oil storage facility on fire after it was hit by an Iranian attack drone. The drone headed right toward that storage facility. Ultimately, it caused a large explosion and destruction to part of Oman's largest oil facility there. Also, some new video coming in of tankers in the Persian Gulf just off the coast of Iraq, where one person was killed and others injured. Crews had to be rescued after these two tankers were hit by an Iranian vessel that was packed with explosives.
Fox News' Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Spring break's approaching, and the nation's airports are dealing with TSA agents walking off the job over lack of pay.
The Department of Homeland Security says more than 300 TSA agents have quit so far. Now, we've told you things haven't been as bad at our local airports, but other airports are now recommending travelers show up earlier than usual for flights.
There are TSA agents who fundamentally can't afford to do their job and not be paid. There's no reason
to hold federal employees hostage in this way.
As we've been reporting, Democrats and Republicans aren't budging on the funding bill for the DHS.
7 News' Adam Longo. Maryland lawmakers take a step forward in efforts to ban certain handguns that can be converted into machine guns using switches.
Maryland Senate Judiciary Committee passed a bill that would ban the sale of machine gun convertible pistols and require gun manufacturers to meet certain safety standards to do business in Maryland. Senator Mary Delaney James voted yes.
Responsible gun manufacturers can make blade guns that do not have this susceptibility.
Senator Chris West voted no.
It would be possible to adulterate any home appliance to turn it into a murder weapon and electrocute someone who tries to turn it on. But we don't ban home appliances because somebody can go in and engage in felonious conduct.
Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The D.C. study on congestion pricing, the idea of charging commuters for driving through downtown D.C., has made it to the city council 5 years after the report was completed. Mayor Muriel Bowser is dismissive about the study's conclusion that the city should consider charging a fee, pointing out it was published before people started telecommuting and downtown was much more crowded. Councilmember Charles Allen, however, he's a fan.
What happens in New York? People are able to move more quickly. It actually reduces congestion. So for folks that do need to drive, they're actually able to move more quickly through it.
Allen says charging drivers a fee would free up more money for public transit. Checking your money, the Dow is down 500 points. The NASDAQ is down 261. Up next, traffic and weather on WMAL.
At Verbo, we understand that even the best of plans sometimes need a little support. So we plan for the plot twists. Every booking is automatically backed by our Verbo Care Guarantee, giving you confidence from the very start. Whenever you need help, it's ready. Before your stay, through the moments in between, and after your trip. Because a great trip starts with peace of mind. And maybe a good playlist. But we've got the peace of mind part covered.
Prime one-day delivery is fast. How fast we talking? We're talking yoga mats and fitness trackers delivered so fast you can take off your routine tomorrow fast. We're talking weights at your door without really waiting fast. Water bottles and hydration backpacks fast and fast. Resistance bands faster than you can say feel the burn fast. More jump ropes just a hop, skip, and a jump away, aka fast. Whew. That was actually a good workout fast. Fast one-day delivery for all things fitness. It's on Prime.
Finally, car shopping made for you. Meet Car Gurus Discover, a new search feature where you can look for vehicles using your own words. Whether you want great gas mileage or extra trunk space, simply type it in, and Car Gurus Discover will give you real shoppable listings that match. It's no wonder Car Gurus is the #1 visited car shopping site according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop it and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
WMAL traffic and weather, Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
George Washington Parkway remains closed in both directions because of the earlier incident involving a tree down on the roadway southbound after 123 north and southbound GW Parkway still closed. 395 northbound at Boundary Channel Drive accident there is gone, but it's still pretty slow. Up from the Pentagon in the Aspen Hill area of Montgomery County, northbound Connecticut Avenue is also closed between Aspen Hill Road and Georgia Avenue because of a sinkhole in the roadway. Urbana area, 355 is closed both ways because of an accident investigation. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
The rain will mix with and maybe even end as a brief period of snow with temperatures falling into the 30s. Tonight, clear 32, partly sunny and breezy. And at 53 with that breeze tomorrow will feel a little bit chilly. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, WMAL.
42 degrees now at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Carter was screwed. They never sent the hostages back until after he'd been beaten by Reagan. And then when he had left office, they knew exactly what they're doing. They decapitated Carter. And I got to tell you, they're doing the same thing to Trump. They know exactly what the Strait of Hormuz is doing to the oil markets, to the markets generally. They know what we're up to because Trump is on television all the time. They see him. They know how he works and how to hurt him, and they're trying to decapitate him.
Ah, yes. Chris Matthews, he's suggesting that all Muslims will cut your head off, I think. Is that what he's saying? I think that's racist. Chris Matthews, well-known racist. You know how he is. He's an NBC journalist, NBC News. That was on Morning Joke this morning. You think Joe Scarborough murdered that woman in his office in Florida, slamming her head against the countertop and killing her? Maybe Chris Matthews should ask Joe Scarborough about that. Yeah, they decapitated Jimmy Carter, and they're doing the same thing to Trump because that Strait of Hormuz, that's Chris Matthews. He is a mental dwarf. He was a Democrat Capitol Hill staff for a long, long time before he became a fake journalist. That's how you do that. That's what Jake Tapper did. He worked on Capitol Hill for a Democrat member of the House and then went into fake journalism. Chris Matthews worked for the Democrat Speaker of the House on Capitol Hill, then went into fake journalism. It's well, a very happy Thursday to you and welcome back. There are a lot of stories to get to and a lot of crazy stuff. And one of the things that I mentioned that have been kicking around this morning here, not only the Canadian euthanasia of human beings, which is turning into Soylent Green on LSD. Saying it's on steroids is so boring, isn't it? But these people, just extraordinary stuff. And I want to get the story out of Cuba because the left kills everything they touch. In Cuba, no food, no electricity, no medical care. Cubans are, quote, asking God to help and bring us Donald Trump. I've got that because communism, which the Democrats are pushing here in the United States, pretty extraordinary stuff. And we've got the Democrats say, gas prices, the Strait of Hormuz, gas prices are up. And they're still not as high as they were under Joe Biden. They're still lower than they were under Joe Biden. But the Democrat Party, we've got lots of anti-Semitic hate crimes going on in New York and San Jose, California. Got it in Brooklyn, New York. We got... where else? San Francisco. The Democrats are out there raging anti-Semites. They should be wearing armbands and black uniforms at this point. Extraordinary stuff. And was ABC News right, saying that Iran had planned to attack California with drones? Drones, got to be a heck of a drone. They might have to move the drones to Oregon or something to attack California. Isn't that amazing? And this was an extraordinary story that popped yesterday. You may have been busy doing other things. When Spain, the nation of Spain, a member of NATO, Western Europe, they conquered by the Moors for 400 years out of North Africa and the Reconquista and all that. But now the Western Europeans are surrendering to Islam. This time, the Islamic horde doesn't even have to bring swords this time. They just have to bring harsh language, and the left gives up. It's extraordinary stuff. But the Spanish prime minister, that is to say the prime minister of Spain, permanently withdraws ambassador from Israel as rift with Israel deepens. That's the headline from News Nation Now. Spain permanently withdraws ambassador as rift with Israel deepens. And the rift is deepening because the leftist that runs the country of Spain permanently withdrew its ambassador to Israel on Tuesday as a diplomatic standoff worsened between the two countries over Spain's opposition to the U.S.-Israeli attacks on Iran. They're defending the Ayatollahs and the world's number one state sponsor of terrorism, who are brutalizing 92 million Iranians and subjugating them. And again, I shared with you the story yesterday that the chief of the national police in Iran said anybody that protests peacefully in the streets will be declared an enemy of the state. And he said, and we have our fingers on the trigger. And that means they're going to kill. They've already killed at least 32,000, according to the low-end estimates, and perhaps 55,000. My best girl and I, this is the truth, as we got in an Uber the other night, a nice Uber. And it was an Uber Black. And we got into the car and said hello and, how are you? And the guy said, oh, very well, thank you. And my best girl said, is that a Persian accent I detect? And he said, yes, it is. And from that point on, we talked about nothing but the war there. And he said 55,000, his number. He said he was talking to his people back in Iran. And he said 55,000 is the number that he has for the number of innocent Iranian civilians gunned down. They're not armed because they don't have a Bill of Rights and a Second Amendment like we do here. They weren't founded by Thomas Jefferson and John Adams and George Washington. They were founded by the Ayatollah Khomeini, and that turned out differently. But in Spain, the ambassador was summoned back to Spain last September amid a diplomatic row over Spanish measures banning aircraft and ships carrying weapons to Israel from its ports or airspace due to Israel's military offensive in Gaza, which Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar denounced as anti-Semitic. Then on Tuesday, day before yesterday, Spain, the left-wing prime minister there, published an announcement on its official gazette, that's on Al Gore's amazing internet, thanks to the patriarchy, that the ambassador's position has been terminated. Interesting choice of words. You could say eliminated. Terminated is a more pointed term. Spain's foreign minister said its embassy in Tel Aviv will be led by a charge d'affaires for the foreseeable future. And isn't that amazing? The move marks the latest escalation by Spain in diplomatic relations between the two countries, which have been heavily strained since Israel launched its assault on the Gaza. Well, wait a minute. I think that happened because of the biggest slaughter of Jews since World War II that took place in Israel, thousands massacred by Hamas. See, but here, the News Nation now, they make it so, well, Israel just attacked Gaza. Gosh, if they hadn't done that, then Spain wouldn't have a problem. Tensions have heightened since the U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran, with Sa'ar accusing Spain in early March of standing with tyrants for opposing the war, which is, of course, exactly what they're doing. That's what they're pulling. And so they permanently withdraw their ambassador from Israel, but interestingly, not from Iran. Not from Iran. And Iran has murdered 32,000 of their own people, or 55,000 of their own people. They were going into hospitals and shooting them in the head in their hospital beds after they wounded them in the streets. And when the wounded were taken from the streets to hospitals, then the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and the other forces there went into the hospitals and shot them in the head, because it's more convenient. You don't have to chase them down alleyways and things like that. So just amazing. And now Spain pulls their Al Jazeera's hot for this story. Spain removes ambassador from Israel in protest of Iran war. It actually says to Iran war, but I'll correct their grammar at Al Jazeera. And isn't that amazing? Madrid recalls ambassador, arising diplomatic tensions. And that's because of a lefty there, aren't they? Aren't they something? Yes, sir. And the stories, you can go look at the stories all you want, but the stories don't say, oh, but Spain kept their ambassador in Tehran, representing Spain in Iran after the genocide, the mass murder. You remember, all the Democrats were up in arms over Gaza after the Israelis were slaughtered, kidnapped, raped, by the thousands, being murdered and kidnapped and raped and thrown in tunnels and all this stuff. And all the Democrats in the United States were up in arms. And then the Iranians slaughter 55,000 of their own people, and not a peep from Chuck Schumer who's Jewish, or from Hakeem Jeffries, who's a jihadi, the Democrat Party is on the side of death, wherever they may find it. They're on the side of MS-13. They're on the side of Tren de Aragua. They're on the side of Hamas. They're on the side of the Ayatollahs and the mullahs. They're on the side of open borders, of the Mexican drug cartels. They're not on our side. And the news media doesn't bother to say, oh, yeah, but Spain left their ambassador in Iran. And again, where's the pound sign movement from the liberals, so-called, in the United States of America? Wah, wah, wah. And with that said, let's go to the telephones. Let's go. There are two calls I see that I want to go to right away. Let's start with Fayez calling from Florida. Fayez, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Fayez.
Show as usual.
How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Very well. Very well.
I wanted to comment on this Prime Minister of Spain.
Yes.
I think he has some Arabic blood in him, and he misses the days when the Arabs invaded Spain and occupied it for centuries. And they have no say on what happens to them or their women. They couldn't protect them. And I think he misses those days. He's taking the side of the people who invaded his land before, and they're ready to do it now if the circumstances permit. And he's choosing the wrong side. I think Europe is suffering lack of toxic masculinity. They have lack of real men who can protect their land, their women, their honor. And maybe it has something to do with the food or the power of the leftists there. They're putting something on the food or on the water to make them less masculine, less men. They don't care for their dignity, for their race, or the integrity of even their society to be united. They're happy with these fake slogans like diversity is our strength. What diversity is bringing to you as strength if you cannot protect your women? I see videos from Europe that really makes me sad.
Yeah.
And if Iran or any other country gets the same power required to invade Spain, they will bring the old days back. And maybe that's what he wants.
Wow. That was a powerhouse. That was just extraordinary. Yeah, I mean, honestly, going back many centuries now to the Moorish invasion of the Iberian Peninsula of Spain, and which they held on to for 400 years, right, Fayez? And yeah, subjugated the people of Spain, and then the Reconquista, and having to drive the Moors, the Muslim Moors, out and push them back into North Africa. And I think I want to clip a recording of what you just said on our show, and I want to send it to the Spanish media and to the Spanish Prime Minister. Yeah, this is a guy who's a lefty, and you're right. No toxic masculinity there. Won't defend their land, their women, their honor, their dignity, their integrity. The toxic masculinity, diversity is our strength. They're committing cultural suicide, aren't they, Fayez?
Exactly. There is no other explanation. How come I bring a guest to my house and then this guest will take over my house? I cannot do my own thing in my house where, like, this is not the guest anymore. This is an invader. And if I will open the door to every guest like this, it's like I'm a fool, or I'm inviting everyone to rape my wife and rape my daughter and like take over. That's what is happening.
And you see it happening in London. You see it happening in England more broadly. You see it happening in Spain. And I got to tell you, there are a couple of countries like Poland and the Czech Republic
is saying we're having none of this. We're not going to allow. I know you see it in Sweden. I saw it in Sweden myself a couple of years ago with throngs of military-age Afghan men from Afghanistan. They've taken it as refugees, and now they're taking over Stockholm and demanding social welfare programs and free housing and free cars and free food and free women. And you see, Fayez, all the attacks on women and the rape gangs, the Muslim rape gangs, that target women because they assume all women in the West are loose and easy, and so the rape gangs target the women and attack the women. And this is happening all over Western Europe, Fayez.
Yeah, and not a lot of news are coming onto Facebook, on Twitter or X. You see video clips that makes your brain like boil.
Yeah, man.
You see bystanders, and they see their women beat up, splashed on the face or knocked down, and there is no man to defend it.
Yeah. Yeah, Fayez, you've got it all right. You've got it all figured out. Every word that you've said is 100% correct. And the West is committing suicide. And Fayez, it's because of the left, which is contemptuous of human life, of civilization itself, of proper government, of the United States of America, of the Bill of Rights. Fayez, killer call. I'm high-fiving you in a virtual fashion.
There's only one Chris Plant, the Chris Plant Show.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Prime one-day delivery is fast. How fast are we talking? We're talking yoga mats and fitness trackers delivered so fast you can kick off your routine tomorrow fast. We're talking weights at your door without really waiting fast. Water bottles and hydration backpacks fast and fast. Resistance bands faster than you can say feel the burn fast. More jump ropes just a hop, skip, and a jump away, aka fast. Whew. That was actually a good workout fast. Fast one-day delivery for all things fitness. It's on Prime.
The pediatric team at Community Health Center of the North Country understands your kids are the most important things in your life, and each one of them is unique in their own way. This means care needs to be personalized for each son or daughter you bring through the doors at our Ogdensburg Health Center. Dr. Sunny Patel and Dr. Tiffany Hecht accepting new patients now and providing that personalized pediatric care for every stage of your child's life. Visit chcnorthcountry.org for more information.
Every semester, thousands of ambitious students feel locked out of traditional healthcare education. So who's going to open that door? Covista. And who's turning that ambition into the next wave of practice-ready nurses, doctors, and caregivers? Covista. Every year, Covista graduates 24,000 healthcare professionals from our 5 accredited universities, making us America's largest healthcare educator. Open the door to more at Covista.com. Covista, the talent to transform healthcare.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop it and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
They say if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. At Amica Insurance, we know what matters most to you. And we work even harder to protect it together. As a mutual insurance company, we're built for our customers and prioritize your needs. Amica, empathy is our best policy. Visit amica.com and get a quote today.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. True Vitality Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
True Vitality Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at True Vitality Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 703-637-1222. 703-637-1222. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 703-637-1222.
The pediatric team at Community Health Center of the North Country understands your kids are the most important things in your life, and each one of them is unique in their own way. This means care needs to be personalized for each son or daughter you bring through the doors at our Ogdensburg Health Center. Dr. Sunny Patel and Dr. Tiffany Hecht accepting new patients now and providing that personalized pediatric care for every stage of your child's life. Visit chcnorthcountry.org for more information.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 till 9 on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Well, when I say that the left is the problem here, it's because the left is the problem here. Here is now again, the Spanish Prime Minister, a leftist, and he was insisting that the U.S. could not use Spanish military bases like Rota, Spain, and so on, because he's on the side of the Ayatollahs, because the left, they're the great oppressor, and they're in bed with the great oppressor in the form of the Ayatollahs and all this. Now, here's the Bloomberg News headline. Why Spain's Sanchez, the left-wing prime minister, why Spain's Sanchez is standing up to Trump on the Iran war. That's the Bloomberg headline. The CNN headline. Most European leaders have tiptoed around Trump's war with Iran, not Spain's prime minister. That's CNN, the left, the communists. Deutsche Welle in Germany, Deutschland. They had the original Nazis. The Democrats are growing into their form now, right before our eyes. On Deutsche Welle headline, why is Spain's Pedro Sanchez standing up to Trump? And they're excited about it. The Guardian out of the United Kingdom. A lone battle. Why is Pedro Sanchez the only European leader to take on Trump? And note that the question is not to take on the Ayatollahs, the world's #1 state sponsors of terror that are raining death down on Israel and now always, all the time, and taking hostages and killing people and shutting down the Strait of Hormuz and trying to choke the world's economy. And never mind any of that. The leader to take on Trump. Trump is the problem, not the Ayatollahs. The left is opposing Trump and the United States in defense of Iran.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10:30. I'm John Matthews. Iran's new supreme leader released his first statement since succeeding his late father and said Iran would keep up its attacks on its Gulf Arab neighbors and use the effective closure of the strategic Strait of Hormuz as leverage against the U.S. and Israel. The Ayatollah, who's believed to have been wounded early in the war, did not appear on camera. Worries about the war are sending oil prices back to $100 a barrel and sending stocks sinking worldwide. The S&P 500 down 1.25. The Dow is off 681 points, and the NASDAQ is down 1.5. After a winter full of days off, Fairfax County Schools is scheduling one more, this one on April 21st, so schools can be used as polling places for the special election on mid-decade redistricting. Superintendent Michelle Reed says the closings are necessary to maintain safety and security and to avoid disruptions to classes. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by GAC Services, proudly serving Maryland homes.
Big names cover the DMV, but at GAC Services, we're proud to serve Maryland homes and the heroes who protect them.
Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. GACservices.com. Proudly serving heroes, proudly serving homes.
Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
The George Washington Parkway remains closed in both directions. There was an accident with a tree down to the roadway southbound after 123. All southbound traffic's been diverted onto Route 123. Northbound is also closed for the investigation there. All northbound traffic on the GW Parkway is being taken off at Spout Run Parkway. Around the Beltway now on the outer loop, still pretty slow from New Hampshire Avenue around to Georgia Avenue in Silver Spring. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Rain turning to snow this afternoon before ending and becoming sunny before sunset. It is 42 at Reagan National. John Matthews, WMAL News.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, so I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop in and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
It's Vince for Valor Roofing. This winter, don't wait for a leak to force your hand. If you've noticed water spots, damaged shingles, or granulars in the gutters, call Valor Roofing now. I've seen their work in person, and trust me, Valor is the best. This week only, save huge on your new Valor roof with 50% off materials and no interest until 2027. Plus, tell them Vince sent you for extra WMAL listener savings. Call Valor at 833-83-VALOR or valorhome.com.
Hi, I'm Rich Robertson with the CES IT Service Tech Tip. Have you ever wondered why your office phones fade in and out or drop off to silence? Does the other person keep asking you to repeat yourself or the voice become choppy? It could be your internet service is too slow, but most likely it's your company network. Is your phone plugged directly into your computer? Your IT guy should have warned you about that. Is your phone traffic sharing the same network as your data traffic? Your phone guy is going to tell you not to do that. He's making a sale. There are many other reasons why you could experience poor phone call quality. Either way, CES IT Service can resolve your voice over IP issues.
Don't let VoIP issues tarnish your image. Contact Rich today at 301-620-1580 or visit CESITservice.com to schedule a quick meeting. Call 301-620-1580. or visit CESITservice.com. If your patio, sidewalk, or driveway is cracked or uneven, if you've tripped or fallen as a result, or if you're worried about the liability of an uneven surface on your property, American Concrete Services can quickly help. Don't pay the high cost to tear out and replace your sidewalk, patio, driveway, or pool deck. American Concrete Services has an economical solution which can raise and stabilize your existing concrete at a fraction of the cost of full replacement. They're environmentally friendly structural foam. With structural foam lifting, there's no heavy equipment to cause damage to your property and no loud noises from jackhammering. Best of all, most repairs can be completed in just one day. Have your entire patio, sidewalk, or driveway safe and level again. No job is too big or small. Call American Concrete Services now for your free estimate at 240-665-5665. That's 240-665-5665. Again, 240-665-5665. License in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. NHIC 140530.
WMAL, making sense of mainstream media because the double standard is real. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
There's a New York Times headline, The headline is, "I've never been a patriot, but Spain standing up to Trump made me one." Yeah, not that they're standing up for one of the world's most tyrannical regimes,
that brutalizes and murders its own citizens by the tens of thousands. But on the other hand, the left here, they abort more than 1 million innocent babies a year, and they now have euthanasia in New York City because of Democrats for human beings. And in Canada, they're killing more human beings in their euthanasia program, Soylent Green as people, than they are killing dogs at stray dogs. In Canada, they're killing more human beings. They're putting people to sleep at a faster rate than they're putting dogs to sleep in Canada. The left is really alive and well. The Soviet Union only morphed. It didn't collapse. It didn't die. And so the war against the tyrannical regime of the Islamic Revolution in Iran, in Tehran, again, savagely brutalizing 92 million people. They stripped them of the right to bear arms. And now the national police chief promised day before yesterday, I told you about it yesterday, that if anybody comes out into the streets to protest peacefully, that they will be declared enemies of the state. And we have our fingers on our triggers, is what the head of the national police said after they just murdered between 32,000 and 55,000 innocent people in Iran. And the left, from the left-wing prime minister of Spain to the Democrat Party in the United States, they're on the side of the people massacring the innocents. Now, what does that tell you about the people who are remaining silent? They were raising hell to save Hamas after Hamas attacked Israel, slaughtered thousands, the rapes, the kidnappings, the murders, the tunnels. The Democrats were all on the side of the terrorists. The Democrats are all on the side of the terrorists in Iran now. The Democrats are mentally ill. Let me just say that. And because, and this is great news, Baumann called in yesterday, and we spoke very briefly because I didn't manage the clock very well. But I'm happy to say that Baumann has called back in today from Potomac, Maryland. Baumann, thank you for calling back. I appreciate it. You are on the Chris Plant Show.
Hi, Chris. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Oh, great. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for calling back
let me
in.
just say, of course, I enjoy your show. Love it. First of all, God bless America. God bless and keep Israel safe. We need to reject the three evil forces, the mullahs, the leftists, and the mujahideen. I don't want to go on a rant because I could, but I called in and I have so many things that I could talk about. But I really wanted to express my gratitude because I didn't get the chance to do so yesterday to the Americans. Americans have saved millions and millions of lives over the centuries that they have been in our history. We cannot deny it. World War I, yes, we had Woodrow Wilson, and then World War II, yes, but look, they have saved so many lives. And today, we are seeing the same thing happening. We are having American lives endangered to fight against this crazy and evil, diabolical regime of Iran. So we just have to say thank you and stop there. And we believe that this will be over. It will be over because there's no way evil will continue to win. And it's not 50 years. It is 14 centuries of evil. And I will not get into anything else in terms of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Yes, all of that is true. They are evil. But I'll stop there because I'm getting into that. So apologies.
Now, Baumann, you are Iranian.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you Muslim?
No.
All right.
I reject it.
I
reject it.
Were you raised Muslim? Were you born into a Muslim family and raised Muslim?
Of course.
Of course.
We hate everything that it stands for.
Okay.
We don't subscribe to anything. We're Zoroastrians. Iranians were Zoroastrians. We do not subscribe. It's all forced for 14 centuries.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I mean, when you say, just to be clear, because you're saying it's not just 47 years, it's 1,400 years. It goes back to the Prophet Muhammad and the creation of the religion of Islam, and that's what you're talking about. And your family and a Muslim family, and now you're saying we rejected it, so I assume you plus members of your family have left the Islamic faith.
Oh, not only that. There is no belief in it. They truly, anybody who is somewhat educated and understands the history of Islam, and this is the part that I really wanted to express. We are not really good on the right, and I don't mean the right meaning like really extreme right, meaning conservative. We don't have a good handle on the language. There is no such thing as radical Islam. Islam is radical by definition. Now, there are very good people that happen to be Muslims. But here's the thing I say. What Muslim and Islamic behaviors do you exhibit that could not be exhibited if you're not a Muslim? You could be a Zoroastrian, you could be a Hindu, you could be a very good person. And that's why the Zoroastrian thought process is good thoughts, good deeds, and good, everything is just supposed to be good. You're not supposed to be evil.
I remember
right?
Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. When Mahmoud Ahmadinejad was president of Iran, we used to call him Stinky. His nickname was Stinky because he famously smelled very, very bad from a great distance, and he was proud of never bathing Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. And then there were reports early on that Mahmoud Ahmadinejad had been killed in an airstrike, and then it turned out he was just fine. He got better. And kind of like the son of the now deceased Ayatollah, of the recently deceased Ayatollah, the son of the Ayatollah, it turns out, his name is Mojtaba Khamenei, and you're familiar with him probably. But are you aware of the fact that he owns about $250 million in real estate in London?
Absolutely. Why? Thank you for bringing that up, because the British royal imperialism is something that we keep not talking about because, oh my God, no, they left power. No, it is still happening. The British have shown their true face, and I'm so glad that Trump is on to that. I'm so glad because the British have just taken so much from the Middle East, and now they're threatened by Trump. And this is great. I'd really love to see Trump take on the British. And did you see what happened with the insurance? With the insurance companies?
Lloyd's of London insuring the ships going through the Strait of Hormuz, and they stopped insuring the ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. And Trump said he would step in and we would take over. Yeah, look, Iran has, they've got half one side of the Strait of Hormuz, which is, of course, the narrow passageway that so much oil and natural gas goes through coming out of the Middle East. And I guess it's about 25 miles from coast to coast from Iran to Saudi Arabia, but the sea lane is only about 2 miles wide, and they're threatening, the Iranian regime is naturally threatening that because all my adult lifetime they've been doing nothing but threatening and killing and kidnapping and slaughtering and oppressing their own people, and we've been putting up with it. The whole world has been putting up with it for 47 years, and they were born of the crime where they overran the U.S. Embassy November 4th, 1979, and took the hostages for 444 days, and a terrorist regime was born. And here we are 47 years later, and they've been, blowing up Jewish community centers in Argentina and taking hostages and blowing up airplanes and blowing, it's a terrorist regime. And the civilized world ought to be unified and standing up and saying, no more. We got a bunch of idiots like Chuck Schumer, who's allegedly Jewish, and he pounds his fist on the table if you enforce our border laws, our immigration laws. But when Iran, wages a 47-year war against us and against Western civilization, these people on the left have nothing to say about that. Why do you think that is, Bama?
I think they have this framework of mentality, and it doesn't matter what you put in front of them in terms of truth, and they will deny it. This happened in Iran. I was there. I was 13 years old. They promised all of these Iranians who were well-to-do. And I'm not saying there were not problems. There were problems. It wasn't as if the whole country was living like a royal family. Don't get me wrong. That's happening even in the United States. That's not the point.
Right.
The point is that they promised free apartments, free buses, free checks from the old revenue. Do you know how much of that we got? Zero.
Yeah.
You know what we got? Here's what we got. My own family got my parents all of their property in certain areas confiscated. Confiscated. We had to go through hell to try to get it back, and we could not succeed.
I gotta say, Baman, that's just like the left. Everywhere they take over. In Cuba, they promise everybody's going to have everything for free. This is what corrupt, tyrannical governments do. They promise that they're going to give you everything, and in the end, they take away everything. And it happens over and over and over again. And the left has that in common with the tyrannical religious regime, the Islamist regime in Tehran. And again, they promise everything, and then they steal everything that you ever had, that you spent your whole life working for. And the left did that everywhere in Eastern Europe, in Russia, in Cuba, in Southeast Asia, and Cambodia and Vietnam, and they kill everybody until everybody shuts up. And they're doing the exact same thing in Iran right now. And they're going to their plan. The plan of the regime is to kill Iranians until Iranians shut up, until they believe that that the Iranian people are not a threat to the regime.
Absolutely right. I'm not here to just basically say that I concur. It's been not 50 years of this Islamic Republic.
Right.
They have been in power for 5 centuries. And next time I call, I will give you a little bit more of the history. But next time I'll call, I'll let you know that this has been going on for 5 centuries, with the exception of 50 years of Pahlavi dynasty. And Reza Shah, the first one, understood it, and he fought against them. And they felt so threatened by him that they would poison the minds of every single person on a Friday prayer.
But Mohammad Mossadegh was the answer to everything, and he was going to bring freedom, and the Shah was corrupt, and Mohammad Mossadegh was overthrown by the United States, and that makes us the bad guy, according to leftists in the United States and Islamists everywhere, right?
Of course, and we have so many Iranians that I'm ashamed of saying that they think that they're so open-minded that their brains are falling out of their minds, out of their ears, because they are not. They don't understand that there needs to be a heavy hand against these clergy, these ideological
clerical tyrants. Well, and you said, And you came here. Did you say you came here in '83? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I came in '83. I was 15 years old. Yeah.
Okay, and Reza Pahlavi. You mentioned Reza Pahlavi, the crown prince in exile, the son of the former and now late Shah of Iran, and he lives right around here. He lives in the Washington D.C. area. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
You do know him?
I do not. I do not.
see, okay.
But I shook his hand in Potomac Village.
Oh, good. In Potomac Village. Isn't that great? Baman, thank you for calling back. Baman called in yesterday, and I had a very brief moment in time, and I asked him to call back in today, and so Baman called back in today. God bless, Baman. That's great. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're safe. Glad that you feel free to speak out, and you live someplace where we are still, for the moment, free to speak out.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop it and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
At Verbo, we understand that even the best of plans sometimes need a little support. So we plan for the plot twists. Every booking is automatically backed by our Verbo Care Guarantee, giving you confidence from the very start. Whenever you need help, it's ready. Before your stay, through the moments in between, and after your trip. Because a great trip starts with peace of mind. And maybe a good playlist. But we've got the peace of mind part covered.
It's time to wake up to a chance to win. The Mega Millions jackpot is rising, so get a stretch in, pour yourself a cup of joe, and head to your favorite New York lottery retailer to seize the day. It's your chance to win the $40 million jackpot. Good morning and good luck, New York. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call the Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Every semester, thousands of ambitious students feel locked out of traditional healthcare education. So who's going to open that door? Covista. And who's turning that ambition into the next wave of practice-ready nurses, doctors, and caregivers? Covista. Every year, Covista graduates 24,000 healthcare professionals from our 5 accredited universities, making us America's largest healthcare educator. Open the door to more at Covista.com. Covista, the talent to transform healthcare.
Chris Plant here. Tired of dating online and want to meet real people face to face? Let the professional matchmakers at It's Just Lunch help. After a confidential interview, your personal matchmaker hand selects quality matches for you. They pre-screen every date, and they'll book your reservations at the best spots in town. All you have to do is show up and be yourself. Let It's Just Lunch help you turn new beginnings into lasting connections. Call 202-466-4333 or visit itsjustlunchdc.com.
Not planning today can cost you tomorrow. Stop worrying and start planning with Trajan Wealth. Contact Trajan today at 202-750-3300 or go to TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop it and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
WMAL, making sense of the border, because laws either matter or they don't. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Hey, James Clyburn, the Democrat congressman who got Joe Biden elected to the White House, had just asked him. He's 85 years old. He was born in 1940. He's just announced that he's running for re-election again because the Democrat Party is the party of youth and the future. The Democrat Party. All right, let's go. There are a lot of other things to get to, but those are two great calls, I've got to say. Let's go now to Frederick, calling from the land of Lincoln, the great state of Illinois. Frederick, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Yes, thank you. This is a pay to play state, but cue up the music. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap. And
I'm eating breakfast, Matt.
People stabbing people that have been caught and released numerous times, stabbing and killing people. They need them either as disruptors, paid terrorists, or paid hitmen. In Winnebago County or Illinois, they just simply have fentanyl or heroin addicts. And then if you step out of bounds with the organized crime, you just get OD'd, and they say another junkie OD'd, no big deal. So if you step out of bounds, but these people going around stabbing people, these immigrants, it's like, are you kidding me? I'm not a heroin addict. I'm not going to take that. You cannot control me that way. But yeah, go anywhere you want with that one. But it's just crazy.
Well, the Democrats, they love letting everybody out of jail, and they love crime. You know, as I like to point out, Frederick, more Democrats, more murder. More Democrats, more crime. More Democrats, more illegal alien gangs all over the place. And, you know, the things that are happening in Chicago, there's a website that
It's
you may be...
insidious. Yeah, it's insidious, but it's a way of taking away our freedom, just like on that previous call. They keep killing until people are afraid to speak out. I'm even afraid to speak out a little bit.
Yeah. 2 days ago,
There's a
Fox...
website in Chicago, you're saying, yeah.
Fox 32 in Chicago, suburban Chicago man convicted of stabbing victim over 40 times in Lake County. And listen, the Democrats, they everything they do, their policies lead to more crime. And you got, you mentioned that, well, you didn't quite mention the governor there, but the inherited billionaire who may end up in a penitentiary before he's done. But they love releasing people from prison without bail, and then they feign shock when they murder again.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 11. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. Iran's new supreme leader has called on his nation to defeat the enemy in his first public statement.
The statement from Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei was read by a newsreader on Iranian state TV. The recently appointed supreme leader said attacks would continue. He vowed to keep targeting U.S. military bases, demanding they're all immediately closed. Expel the Americans, he urged host countries. Khamenei also said closing the Strait of Hormuz, the vital oil transit route, should be used as leverage. The supreme leader threatened to open other fronts, adding that Iran will not refrain from avenging the blood of its martyrs. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
A new survey finds more Americans are sacrificing basic needs expenses to help pay for health care.
The survey was done by the West Health Gallup Center, and it shows that roughly 1/3 of people in the U.S. have cut back on food, utilities, or other daily expenses to cover healthcare costs. It also found that this is far more common among Americans who do not have health insurance. 62% of those surveyed saying they've made at least one sacrifice to pay for health care. That includes 32% who've had to borrow money and 24% who have put off their current medication. Nearly 9% of respondents had postponed their retirement due to healthcare costs. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Prices at the pump are still climbing, too.
Gas prices all across the nation, they're still pretty high in California. Look, some folks, they're paying $5.36 a gallon. Ouch. Let's go take a look at some of the local numbers here. Virginia, $3.36. D.C., $3.64. Maryland at $3.52. Now, the U.S. and 31 other countries agreed to a historic release of oil reserves, but the U.S. officials say it will take them 4 months to deliver all their barrels. Meanwhile, with the Strait of Hormuz shut down, some experts liken this to a Band-Aid on a gaping wound.
7 News, John Rogers. A fatal shooting by police of an armed man with autism, raising questions in Howard County.
25-year-old Alex Lamori had just moved into housing designed for those with autism called Patuxent Commons last month. On February 28th, he called police reporting himself in suicidal crisis. 2 of the officers who responded had been trained in crisis intervention for such a call. When Lamori approached officers with a knife and did not follow repeated commands to drop the weapon, 3 officers opened fire, killing Lamori. Lamori had not yet signed up for a program with 911 dispatch to register as a person with autism. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Maryland lawmakers today celebrate a recognition of religious rights that began way before its time.
The original Constitution of Maryland essentially contained a requirement that in order to be a holder of public office at the local or state level, you essentially had to swear an oath to a Christian God.
State Delegate Jared Solomon on the bicentennial anniversary of the state's 1826 passage of the Act for the Relief of the Jews. Behind it, Hagerstown Delegate Thomas Kennedy, who wasn't Jewish and said he knew no Jewish people personally. He just believed religion was private.
He was the champion. He actually lost office at one point because he was championing this, and then he was reelected under a different party.
A plaque to honor Kennedy will be unveiled this evening. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The Dow's down 632 points. NASDAQ's down 395. Traffic and weather next.
The pediatric team at Community Health Center of the North Country understands your kids are the most important things in your life, and each one of them is unique in their own way. This means care needs to be personalized for each son or daughter you bring through the doors at our Ogdensburg Health Center. Dr. Sunny Patel and Dr. Tiffany Hecht accepting new patients now and providing that personalized pediatric care for every stage of your child's life. Visit chcnorthcountry.org for more information.
Because I'm committed to showing up for my team, I rely on quality parts from Advance Auto Parts to keep me ready when it counts. From quick fixes during the week to game day drives on the weekend, they have the right parts to keep me moving and on the road. So I can be there for every game, every inning, and every moment my team is counting on, all the way to life's good parts. Visit your local Advance Auto Parts today.
Prime one-day delivery is fast. How fast we talking? We're talking tissues and hot tea fast. Feel better meds fast. Relievers your door fast. So you can actually breathe out of both nostrils fast. Like I just ordered and then already here fast. Fast one-day delivery to feel better sooner. It's on Prime.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop in and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Steve Hirshhorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
The George Washington Parkway remains closed in both directions, north and southbound. The earlier incident happened on the southbound parkway after Route 123 involving a vehicle into a tree. All lanes are blocked both ways. On the southbound parkway, you're being taken off at 123. Northbound, the GW Parkway, you're being sent onto Spout One Parkway. Connecticut Avenue, Aspen Hill area, Montgomery County. Northbound is closed between Aspen Hill Road and Georgia Avenue because of a sinkhole. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Rain turning to snow this afternoon and then ending before dark. Temperatures in the 30s. It is 40 now at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Well, speaking on Monday to House Republicans, President Trump gave an update on U.S. military operations in Iran and said, quote, "We've already won in many ways, but we haven't won enough." That's not how winning works. Either you won or you didn't. I don't know about Iran, but I think Merriam-Webster is ready to surrender.
It's the one. It's one. It's winning, and it's this is the Democrat Party propaganda apparatus. It works morning, noon, and night. And the Democrat Party pays their propagandists millions and millions of dollars. Some of them pretend to be funny. Others don't. Oh, we played a little Whoopi Goldberg yesterday, and yeah, Whoopi and Joy and Happy. Yeah, Sunny, Whoopi and Joy and Sunny. Never have a group of awful women been so ironically named. I was taking a little. I filled my tank with gas yesterday on the way home from the radio station, which I do. I still go by September 11th rules. September 11th rules. When the tank of gas in my car hits a half tank, when I get to a half tank, that's when I refill. Most people doubtless don't remember this, but after September 11th, 2001, which those were radical Islamic jihadi terror attacks, hijacking planes, slashing throats, crashing the airliners into buildings in New York and Washington, the Pentagon across the river from Washington, D.C. and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, of course. I remember it well. And a lot of people, including myself, developed some new habits. And one of them was that whenever you reach out, because you never know when the next terror attack is going to be, because they're waging war against us, the Islamists, and they still are, by the way. And I, ever since 2001, I adopted the habit of when I hit a half gallon of gas, I fill the tank. So I always have at least a half tank of gas. And, you got to have your go bag and mountains of ammo and, all the usual stuff. So yesterday, in any case, I go on. I stopped for to fill up my tank, and I use premium gasoline, which is much more expensive, of course, because of the extreme high performance of my race car. It's very fast, and it flies. My car flies, which is good. So I stopped to get gas, and I noticed that the price of gas up a little bit. I went just moments ago, in fact, during the commercial break, to the people at gas prices, AAA.com, the American Automobile Association. They're a good nonpartisan organization. And the current average for a gallon of regular gasoline in the United States of America is $3.59.8. It's, nothing else has 0.8 or 0.9 cents. You buy a steak or a cheeseburger or, a pint of beer, and it's not $6.52.9 cents. But gasoline, we have that. Regular gasoline, so it's basically $3.60, and that's up from a while ago. In California, of course, the price is much, much higher. And in California, they drive up the national average. The average for a gallon of gas, of regular gasoline, in California is $5.36.8. So $5.36 a gallon. $5.36. That's because they tax it, and also they tax the hell out of it, of course. They're liberals, they're Democrats. They redistribute your wealth to their communist allies, and they ruin everything that they touch. But California used to have, it was like 49 refineries in the state. And they said, we can't have that. Now they have 8 refineries in the state. Drives the price up. They used to have overwhelmingly domestic U.S. gasoline. Now they get the majority of their gas. They import the majority of their gasoline. And of the gas that they import, and oil that they import from Iraq. And isn't that amazing? but they're not on Team America. $5.36 on average in California. And in the United States, $3.59. And the Democrats, you can find all kinds of lunacy with the Democrats screaming and yelling, oh, the price of gas, Trump is making gas go. Trump is the guy who's been trying to make us energy independent since he came down the escalator the first time in New York. And the Democrats have been fighting against him because they don't want us using gasoline because they're saving the planet from rising oceans. And if you drive your SUV, the oceans will rise at an accelerated rate. But if you elect Barack Hussein Obama, then he will slow the rise of the oceans because he has godlike powers to the death cult that is the left. So we've got that now, and they're screaming and yelling at the average price of a gallon of gas being a regular gas, $3.59, right? And again, Democrat states driving it up because in Oregon it's $4.30 a gallon right now. In the state of Washington, it's $4.74 a gallon, and again in California, $5.36 because Democrats drive the price of everything through the roof. Barack Obama promised that under his plan of cap and trade, electricity costs would necessarily skyrocket. They don't want us using energy. They're anti-modernity. They really are. But I did something crazy, and I went to the AAA people to look at the price of gas over the sweep of time, and during Barack Obama's presidency, and during Joe Biden's presidency, and during Barack Obama, for example, in 2012, for the whole year, the average price of a gallon of gas was $3.68. And so there is no war in the Middle East. There is no cutting off the Strait of Hormuz because we're fighting terrorism. Democrats like terrorism. They give us the Weather Underground and the Weathermen and the Students for a Democratic Society terror group and the Symbionese Liberation Army and every terror group. They gave us the KKK. The Democrat Party has given us every terror group in the history of the country. And they don't fight terrorism in Iran. They kind of support terrorism in Iran because they're anti-American too. But Barack Obama, $3.58 was the average price in 2012 and $3.68 in 2011, and that was considered to be normal, and nobody said anything about it. And that's higher than the price of gas now after it spiked. Now, again, under President Trump, it was much lower just a couple of months ago, but he's taking on the world's problems and trying to solve them. Under Joe Biden, in 2022, for the whole year of 2022, the average price of a gallon of gas was $4.06. Now it's $3.59 with the war and everything. And the Democrats, they make everything more expensive. They make it less accessible. A functional country runs on cheap and abundant energy. Gasoline for your car and for trucks, diesel for bringing food and other goods to market, and also cheap energy at home to warm grandma's house in December and January so she doesn't freeze to death. And natural gas should be inexpensive. Electricity should be inexpensive. But the Democrat Party is literally against cheap and abundant energy. They want expensive and scarce energy, and their policies make sure that that's happening. Now, the Iranians are allegedly, there are reports that they're mining the Strait of Hormuz and then that they're not mining the Strait of Hormuz. Again, the Strait of Hormuz is a choke point coming out of the Persian Gulf, also known as the Arabian Gulf, because Saudi Arabia is on the other side, on the west side of the Arabian Gulf, and Iran, Persia on the other side, on the east side of the Gulf. And there's a choke point toward the south that is actually about 25 miles across from Iran to Saudi Arabia. But the shipping lane is about 2 miles across, and the Iranians are allegedly dropping sea mines there, and they're threatening now to shut down all energy coming out of the Gulf in order to choke the economies of the world and pick fights again, which they've been doing forever and ever. Now, President Trump yesterday, soundbite number one, was asked about this by a reporter. hey, are the terrorists dropping sea mines in the Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz?
Look, we took out just about all of their mine ships in one night.
All of their mine ships. They had ships that are capable of laying mines in the Persian Gulf in order to be terrorists and terrorize the world. And President Trump, we've taken out essentially their entire navy. Their big ships are all gone, and then they're taking small boats out with sea mines. You know, the old-fashioned sea mines are like big, huge metal balls about 6 feet across, and they have big probes sticking out of them all over them. You know, like beep beep. They look like Soyuz satellites or something. And when your ship bumps into any one of those probes sticking out of it, it detonates the mine and blows a big hole in the hull of your ship and sinks you, because that's what they do. And President Trump asked about whether oil tanker traffic is currently coming in and out of the Gulf by way of the Strait of Hormuz.
Now that tankers are being attacked in the Strait of Hormuz, how are you going to ensure the safety of oil flowing through there?
I think you're going to see great safety, and it's going to be very, very quickly. We have decimated that country. They're paying a big price now for 47 years of killing.
They're paying a big price. That's the part of the soundbite that I like best. They're paying a big price now for 47 years of killing. And we've just put up with it and, not destroyed that outrageous criminal regime for 47 years. And the rest of the world, Western Europe and the Middle East, the Arab countries, of course, Israel constantly under attack, and occasionally they have to strike Iran to put them back in a box so they stop murdering their babies and their women. And Democrats don't care. They literally don't care. They want to put you to sleep. They want to euthanize you like a dog. Aren't they amazing? And President Trump on where it stands with Iran and how Iran is doing, how the Islamic Revolution is doing.
They are pretty much at the end of the line. Doesn't mean we're going to end it immediately, but they've got no Navy, they've got no Air Force, they've got no anti-air traffic, anything. They have no systems of control. We're just riding free range over that country. And now we're going to look very strongly at the Straits. The Straits are in great shape. We've knocked out all of their boats.
There's only one strait. It's only one. It's the Strait of Hormuz, not the Straits. Although people always do that with strait in straits, plural, around the world. People always say straits instead of strait. It's just a strait. It's one strait. But you hear that all day long. The Straits of Hormuz. It's one strait. Peter Doocy of the Fox News Channel asked President Trump. President Trump was in Ohio yesterday, held a political event there, and he went to Tennessee and Kentucky, and held a political event there. And Peter Doocy was traveling with the president, as he does as a White House correspondent, and on the press plane, normally, unless you're in the pool, which goes on Air Force One that day. But Peter Doocy, hey, you said this is, something of an excursion, a short excursion.
You just said it is a little excursion, and you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both. It's
both.
An excursion that will keep us out of a war, and the war is going to be. For them, it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought.
Turned out to be easier than we thought. I do have to say that it's not over, because as long as the radical Islamic terrorist regime maintains power by replacing the old Ayatollah with the son of the old Ayatollah, and the son of the now deceased, recently deceased Ayatollah, Mojtaba Hosseini Khamenei. That's Hosseini Khamenei. That sounds like the beginning of a song, but they're not really the songster types. And I love the story that Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the deceased Khamenei, is worth $250 million just in real estate holdings, just in London, only in London. And London is doing so well, aren't they? Just don't walk around, and don't let your women walk around. Western civilization is under assault, and the left is the biggest threat to Western civilization. That's a fact. Now the who is at the international, the energy agency is calling for 400 million barrels of reserve oil to be released onto the market to help correct the spike in gasoline prices. You know that rural Americans deserve access, of course, to the very best of what our great nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every one of our great states, in every hamlet, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, our neighbors, the people that we love. And no matter where you live, hospital care does not clock out. Every year, America's more than 5,000 hospitals care for millions of Americans, providing emergency care, delivering babies, providing cancer treatments 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you know, other than life-saving care and the patients, we all depend on this. We expect it as Americans. Behind every one of those patients, there are, of course, doctors and nurses and caregivers working 24/7 to keep Americans and everybody here healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They also employ our neighbors and our family members to help keep our families healthy. But now some people in Congress are threatening access to that care. Tell Congress to protect patient care, to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care. Paid for by the Coalition to Strengthen America's Health Care. Yes, sir. President Trump and Iran and the price of peanuts, the price of gasoline. And these guys, the regime is so corrupt, the son of the Ayatollah has $250 million in real estate holdings in London.
There's only one Chris Plant, The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Prime one-day delivery is fast. How fast are we talking? We're talking yoga mats and fitness trackers delivered so fast you can kick off your routine tomorrow fast. We're talking weights at your door without really waiting fast. Water bottles and hydration backpacks fast and fast. The resistance bands faster than you can say feel the burn fast. More jump ropes just a hop, skip, and a jump away, aka fast. Whew. That was actually a good workout fast. Fast one-day delivery for all things fitness. It's on Prime.
Every semester, thousands of ambitious students feel locked out of traditional healthcare education. So who's going to open that door? Covista. And who's turning that ambition into the next wave of practice-ready nurses, doctors, and caregivers? Covista. Every year, Covista graduates 24,000 healthcare professionals from our 5 accredited universities, making us America's largest healthcare educator. Open the door to more at Covista.com. Covista, the talent to transform healthcare.
It's time to wake up to a chance to win. The Powerball jackpot is rising. So get a stretch in, pour yourself a cup of joe, and head to your favorite New York lottery retailer to seize the day. It's your chance to win the $70 million jackpot. Good morning and good luck, New York. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call the Hope Line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop in and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Day or night, Verbo Care is here 24/7 to help make every part of your stay seamless. If anything comes up, or you simply need a little guidance, support is ready whenever you reach out. From the moment you book to the moment you head home, we're here to help things run smoothly. Because a great trip starts with the right support. And hey, a good playlist doesn't hurt either.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The pediatric team at Community Health Center of the North Country understands your kids are the most important things in your life, and each one of them is unique in their own way. This means care needs to be personalized for each son or daughter you bring through the doors at our Ogdensburg Health Center. Dr. Sunny Patel and Dr. Tiffany Hecht accepting new patients now and providing that personalized pediatric care for every stage of your child's life. Visit chcnorthcountry.org for more information.
Imagine having complete clarity about your health, not just test results, but a clear plan built around you. Today, body scans and lab tests are easy to access, but true peace of mind comes from understanding what they mean and what to do next. At Princeton Longevity Center, we go beyond testing to deliver clarity, strategy, and physician-led care designed to help protect and extend your life. Our patients work directly with board-certified physicians specializing in preventive and longevity medicine. Not algorithms, not generic reports, but real doctors who understand your history, your risks, and your goals. Yes, we use advanced imaging and comprehensive diagnostics, but what truly matters is what comes next. We interpret the results, connect the dots, and deliver a physician-led personalized plan you can act on with confidence. Because information alone doesn't change outcomes. At Princeton Longevity Center, your care doesn't end with a test. It begins there. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com. That's 888-8000-PLC.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
I'll tell you one thing. All right, so we have now sunk between 50 and 60 Iranian ships. I looked it up. Great Britain, you know, the great seafaring power of Great Britain, they have 63 ships in their navy. 63 ships in their navy. Iran had about 60. All they have to do is control the Strait of Hormuz. And they're the sea power in the region. You know, Saudi Arabia is not famous as a seafaring power throughout the centuries. They're kind of a camelback power with swords and all that. But in that region of the world, and the narrow Strait of Hormuz, the choke point where all the oil and natural gas, all the energy comes through, it gives them the power to threaten the world and the economy of the world. And energy of the world. And again, the left is anti-energy, including the Democrat Party. And cheap and abundant energy is key to good living for Western civilization. The Democrat Party, they're against cheap and abundant energy. And they're also against taking on the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism that has been waging a low-level, asymmetric war against the United States for nearly half a century, because the Democrats are feckless, unintelligent, weak, and they're not on our side.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 11:30. I'm Heather Curtis. As people around the world watch the prices for oil and gas continue to spike, some discouraging words from Iran's new supreme leader. He said in his first public message that the Strait of Hormuz will stay closed as a, quote, tool of pressure. This is Britain's top diplomats in Saudi Arabia, where he's expected to talk about ways of ensuring continuity of oil supply with regional partners as Iran attacks shipping in the strait. President Trump wrote on Truth Social today, stopping the evil empire from having nukes is a higher priority than surging oil prices, now at $96 a barrel. He wrote, quote, the U.S. is the largest oil producer in the world by far, so when oil prices go up, we make a lot of money. AAA says the national average today for a gallon of regular gas is $3.59, up 34 cents from a week ago. In the DMV, it's $3.51, up 29 cents from last week. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by Text Now. Other wireless carriers tell you when to pay. Text Now asks, what do you need? It's app-first phone service without commitments, credit checks, or carrier attitude. Built for people who stopped asking for permission. Download today.
Here's Steve Hirshorn in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
George Washington Parkway remains closed southbound and northbound. The incident earlier this morning was on the southbound Parkway after 123, an incident involving a vehicle into a tree. Tree came down the roadway. Southbound traffic is being diverted onto 123. Northbound will be diverted at Spout Run Parkway. 270 southbound, right after the lane divider. Anyway, down to the inner loop, there was an accident, and that is only allowing one right lane to get by. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Weather Channel forecast.
Today, rain and snow showers will end this afternoon. Temperatures will fall into the 30s. Right now, 40 in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
Every Nissan Frontier is battle tested. Its frame is twisted. Its door slammed 13,920 times. And its bed drop tested over and over. We do all that to the V6 powered Frontier, so you never have to hold back. Nissan, ranked number one in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. True Vitality Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
True Vitality Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at True Vitality Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 703-637-1222. 703-637-1222. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 703-637-1222.
The pediatric team at Community Health Center of the North Country understands your kids are the most important things in your life, and each one of them is unique in their own way. This means care needs to be personalized for each son or daughter you bring through the doors at our Ogdensburg Health Center. Dr. Sunny Patel and Dr. Tiffany Hecht accepting new patients now and providing that personalized pediatric care for every stage of your child's life. Visit chcnorthcountry.org for more information.
If your patio, sidewalk, or driveway is cracked or uneven, if you've tripped or fallen as a result, or if you're worried about the liability of an uneven surface on your property, American Concrete Services can quickly help. Don't pay the high cost to tear out and replace your sidewalk, patio, driveway, or pool deck. American Concrete Services has an economical solution which can raise and stabilize your existing concrete at a fraction of the cost of full replacement. They're environmentally friendly structural foam. With structural foam lifting, there's no heavy equipment to cause damage to your property and no loud noises from jackhammering. Best of all, most repairs can be completed in just one day. Have your entire patio, sidewalk, or driveway safe and level again. No job is too big or small. Call American Concrete Services now for your free estimate at 240-665-5665. That's 240-665-5665. Again, 240-665-5665. Licensed in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. NHIC 140530. WMAL, making sense of party politics, because somebody's got to hold their feet to the fire. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
A good friend of mine, Brian Doherty, just texted me that his son's girlfriend at Old Dominion University in Virginia, Norfolk-ish. Active shooter. Well, it may have been a shooting and not an active shooter situation, but Old Dominion University in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia. Massive police response, and it looks like it may be over, but one of those things, kind of a big deal. And there's a video posted by a young man showing a little stuff going on. Great Krieger. You look at Great Krieger's profile. He's a socialist. He's into socialist politics because he's being raised by the Democrat Party, apparently. Just amazing. Yes, sir. All right, let's get back to all the big news. President Trump again in Ohio yesterday, and then in Kentucky. I kept saying Tennessee. And President Trump at one of his political rallies yesterday, and it's big stuff. He's an amazing politician. He does not follow anybody's pattern. He breaks the mold in so many different ways. And President Trump yesterday at a rally, talking about the radical Islamic jihadi regime, the Islamic Revolution in Iran, and the military action currently underway against the tyrannical terrorist regime that just slaughtered tens of thousands of their own people and are threatening to slaughter tens of thousands more if they should dare to come out and protest against the tyrannical Islamist regime.
And as we take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury.
He's a salesman. He punches.
Is that a great name?
Is that a great name?
Well, it's only good if you win. You can only, and we've won. Let me say, we've won. You never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. But we won.
Yeah, we won. It's well, it depends because if you want this regime to be replaced with a civilian regime, and they are talking about Reza Pahlavi, the son of the late Shah of Iran, who was deposed in 1979, and Jimmy Carter sold him out, an important ally of ours in the region at the time, and the Democrats, Jimmy Carter sold him out. A terrible Naval Academy grad, Jimmy Carter, not good at that at all. He couldn't even pronounce the word nuclear properly. It's a nuclear. It's not nuclear, it's nuclear. It's an important word. Pronounce it properly. But Epic Fury, the president, at one of his political rallies yesterday, and he likes the name of Epic Fury. And look, he's taken on, there are bad guys in the world. The bad guys will kill you. And one of the terrible things about all this is the soft bigotry of low expectations, where we say, well, look, Muslims murder people. Muslims hijack airplanes and crash them into buildings. Muslims overrun embassies and take hostages. And Muslims cut people off with knives and shackle your hands behind your back and put you on your knees and in orange jumpsuits, and they cut everybody's heads off, and they gargle in the blood of innocence. And we say, and this is what Western civilization has concluded. Well, this is who they are. This is what they're going to do. Nothing you can do about it. And I've been asking since September 11th, who's the head of the Muslim peace movement? Who's the Muslim Mahatma Gandhi? Who's I know you guys have ayatollahs. Do you have any popes? Do you have any peaceniks? Is there a Muslim who's a peacenik leader? Is there a national leader in any Muslim country that is a peacenik, or are they all gun-toting thugs? I think we all know the answer to that. It's kind of a rhetorical question. But Western civilization has adopted a policy of the soft bigotry of low expectations, and this is just what we expect. And we had two great callers today, Fayez and Baman, and just great callers talking about this. And honestly, where's the Islamic world standing up for civilization? Where are the Muslim leaders calling for civilization, civility? And we could just start with not throwing nail bombs in New York City, and then the news media. Oh, we got to get to that too, because the ridiculous Democrats. Yesterday we showed the CNN going, and lots of media saying, oh, these two poor innocent men, and they threw bombs, teenagers that came in from Pennsylvania, and they threw bombs at the Muslim mayor's house. The opposite of the truth, just completely ridiculous. But President Trump, we're working on keeping the oil flowing because the global economy depends on it.
And my administration, as you know better than anybody, is also working to keep the oil flowing. It's flowing all over. We knocked out, they want to drop some mines, very friendly people, mines so boats blow up. And we knocked out as of, every hour I have to change because they knock them out so fast. I've never said anything. Think of it. They knocked out 54 ships in 2 days, and they're real ships. In fact, I got angry at my people. I said, are they any good? Yeah, they're warships. I said, why the hell did we kill them? Why didn't we just capture them and use them in our Navy? They said they wouldn't have qualified for that.
Yeah.
But I got a little upset with my people. I said, why do we have to knock them? And actually, one of my generals said, sir, it's a lot more fun doing it this way.
This guy is unconventional. Again, I looked it up today. The United Kingdom, the UK, England, the great seafaring power, they have 63 ships in their navy. And then people say, well, they didn't have any navy. That's got a puny little navy. Well, it's the size of Britain's navy, one of the great naval powers in the history of the world. Not anymore, of course. Now they have a standing army that's, as my brother Michael pointed out yesterday, the British Army, the strength of the British Army, of their active forces, you could fit inside of the stadium at the University of Michigan. And it turns out that's essentially true. Crazy. President Trump on the oil and the International Energy, not the International Atomic Energy Agency, the International Energy Agency, they're calling on countries with gasoline, with oil stockpiled to release it onto the market to free up and have less expensive gas and energy.
I'm pleased to report that earlier today, the International Energy Agency agreed to coordinate the release of a record 400 million barrels of oil from various national petroleum reserves around the world, which will substantially reduce the oil prices as we end this threat to America and this threat to the world. We don't want to leave early, do we? We got to finish the job, right?
There was, and that's the president. Energy costs important. Now, Aaron Katursky, that's apparently his real name. Aaron Katursky of ABC News. He's been around for a long time at ABC News. Actually, you may know him. He had a big break yesterday. Broke a big story yesterday. The ABC News. FBI warns Iran aspired to attack California with drones in retaliation for the war against Iran, of course. Aaron Katursky of ABC News.
We've reviewed an alert that came within the last couple of weeks, just recently, from the FBI to law enforcement agencies up and down the California coastline, warning that Iran is aspiring now to perhaps launch some kind of a retaliatory attack on the U.S. mainland using drones on the West Coast. The alert that we reviewed said an uncorroborated report suggested that unidentified Mexican cartel leaders had authorized attacks using drones carrying explosives, so they know that capability exists. And this separate alert that we've reviewed, Kira, says that Iran has those same kinds of aspirations.
They have a Kira, too. They've got a Kira over there. Isn't that great? Kyrie. Aaron Katursky has got the Mexican cartels are working with Iran, and they have drones, and they're going to attack California.
So the U.S. has broadly known for some time that drones could be deployed against the homeland. We know that Iran has been using drones significantly in this 12-day-old war with the United States. That's what killed the first 6 U.S. service members in this war. But now the FBI is specifically warning police agencies in California along the Pacific coastline that Iran is aspiring to use them to attack in the West.
By the way, since the war started, 11 people have been shot and killed in Chicago, and 31 more have been shot and wounded. That's just Chicago. That's not a country. That's a Democrat-run city. Isn't that amazing? So there's Aaron Katursky of ABC News. Now, the Reuters news agency published a story yesterday. FBI bulletin warned of possible Iran retaliation on California targets. The Reuters news agency alert suggested potential for aerial drone strikes on West Coast against the West Coast of the United States, California. Security bulletin issued before the outbreak of the Middle East war, before the first bomb dropped on Iran. The FBI security bulletin said that Iranian elements were looking to attack California using drones, maybe out of Mexico. And then something funny happened. NBC News got to work. You can't believe any of them, though. Officials throw cold water on FBI claim that Iran sought to attack California with drones. On Wednesday, that's yesterday, ABC News reported that Iran aspired to attack unspecified targets in California using unmanned aerial vehicles. You call them UAVs. We like to abbreviate everything. The source for the reporting was an FBI alert that warned California police departments about the potential threat. And then for hours, CBS News senior White House reporter Jennifer Jacobs, never heard of her. Officials told her colleague, CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Sagana, or whatever her name is, that there is no credible intelligence underpinning the bulletin. So they got one news organization shooting down the news organization next door. That's what they're doing. Now, there's this fun video clip. Let's go to number 8. Number 8, because this audio has emerged of a bit of two-way radio traffic between an Israeli fighter pilot in his fighter jet and an American fighter pilot in his fighter jet. And they're both headed into Iran to take out terrorist targets. And the little exchange sounded like this.
Mobile 97. It is a great honor for us to fight with you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much. Likewise, gentlemen. Please be safe out there. Strike hard. See ya.
Strike hard. See ya. Listen to that. Listen to the cool voices. It's a great honor, the Israeli pilot. It's a great honor to fly with you, to fight with you, is what he said. You're doing a great job. Said, thank you very much. Likewise, gentlemen, stay safe out there. Strike hard. See you. That's some badass stuff. All right, guys, and there, guys. Real men still exist, but they're getting harder and harder to find because there are so many Democrats these days. Now, this was an amazing soundbite. Mark Halperin, remember him? Gropey Mick Halperin. He was an ABC News guy for a long time. He's a lifelong Democrat. He's he's a lib. He's a journalist. I'm making quotation marks with my fingers. And he was doing a podcast because that's what everybody does. And Mark Halperin said, and he's not a Trump guy. He's presumably a very anti-Trump guy. Everybody knows he's anti-Trump. And he summed up where we are with the Iran conflict this way. And I was kind of shocked. I was amazed. And I immediately alerted Michael Piercy, you gotta hear this soundbite from the Democrat pseudo-journalist Mark Halperin.
You can criticize this 100 ways to Sunday. The metric of success, which is the metric he intended, was to do as much as possible to degrade Iran's capabilities. Again, naval, missile, nuclear, command and control, terror. The metric of success was to degrade them as much as possible with as little cost and blood and treasure as possible. If he stopped today, he would have succeeded more than every president combined.
If he stopped today, he would have exceeded. All right? But all other American presidents combined when it comes to delivering a beating on the Islamic Revolution in Tehran and Iran, the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, waging low-level asymmetric war against the United States and the West for 47 years, waging open warfare against Israel for 47 years. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and even he was forced to confess, and that's a confession, make no mistake. And he's not a stupid man, he's an intelligent man. He's just a Democrat and not a Trump guy, and he sounded like he was doing a commercial for Trump's re-election for a third term as president.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
The pediatric team at Community Health Center of the North Country understands your kids are the most important things in your life, and each one of them is unique in their own way. This means care needs to be personalized for each son or daughter you bring through the doors at our Ogdensburg Health Center. Dr. Sunny Patel and Dr. Tiffany Hecht accepting new patients now and providing that personalized pediatric care for every stage of your child's life. Visit chcnorthcountry.org for more information.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop it and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, I'm Rich Robertson with a CES IT Service Tech Tip. Have you ever wondered why your office phones fade in and out or drop off to silence? Does the other person keep asking you to repeat yourself or the voice become choppy? It could be your internet service is too slow, but most likely it's your company network. Is your phone plugged directly into your computer? Your IT